Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It is Brandon again, and once again, I'm on my way to work. So first of all, if you didn't see my last vlog, I want to set some things straight about it. First of all, work has just been kicking my ass the last 2-3 weeks. This week as well, potentially next week. That's why you really haven't seen me put out a lot of what I would consider more quality videos. You know, the ones in the standard settings that you're used to, where I can take more time to sit and actually articulate myself and all that good crap, or bad crap, depending on what kind of presentation style you like. So that's the reason for the car vlogs. This is really the only downtime I have. This is just the easiest to do it. Not to mention, for those of you that play Xbox, Gears of War Judgment came out, and I kind of been playing a little bit of that the last 2 days in the free time that I've had. Gotta grind sometimes. So, setting that straight. Secondly, the other vlog I put up, you know, I kind of mentioned that it was kind of tough only because the weather, didn't really have a lot of time for the gym, I'm kind of pale, I'm losing a little bit of weight, and just really not satisfied or in one of those places. I wasn't saying that because I pity myself. I don't ever pity myself. But with this, and I'm trying to let this asshole guy go, and now he's not gonna go. People can't drive in Rhode Island, just like wherever you're from, I'm sure. But the reason I said that, just to let you guys know where I was mentally, and I'm in a good place mentally. I'm not being negative, I'm not down about myself. But anyone who's dieted or bulked before, you know how this process goes. There are certain times when you feel you're in that in-between stage, you know. You're not quite at the peak of your cut, yet you're not really at maintenance, or you're not really fully bulked, you're not really big. You're just kind of at that in-between stage. Like if anyone out there has ever shaved their head, which obviously I have, but if you ever shave your head and try to grow your hair out, there's always that really in-between stage where things look kind of weird. And that's really where just I feel I am as far as my diet goes, my cut goes, and it's not a big deal. I'm used to it. I just figured I needed content. I figured I'd talk to you guys. So I appreciate a lot of you guys saying, you know, keep your head up and all that, but honestly, I'm good, and I do appreciate that though. And this kind of just spurred a thought of mine about talking about something that I get comments on quite a bit. And oftentimes in the comment section, people leave comments along the lines of, you know, you've been training so long, or hey, you lift a pretty good amount of weight, why aren't you bigger? Have you reached your genetic potential? And this question always makes me laugh. I don't get angry at it, but I think a lot of people out there just don't have correct perceptions of growth. A lot of people that watch my channel, not everyone, but I think a majority of them are fairly new to training, at least based off of what I gather from comments and speaking with you guys. So maybe a year, even 2 years or so. Well, there's plenty of people that have been training out there as long as me, longer than me, that watch my channel. A lot of the people that are making these comments tend to be those who are newer. And I think they have the misconception because when you first start training, you'll see tremendous gains really, really quickly. A lot of people call these newbie gains. And I did too. When I first started lifting, I think I bench pressed like 115 pounds. This was back in 9th grade. By the end of the year, I was up to like 200 something. So I saw, you know, almost a 100% increase in my strength in the first year alone. And that was great. But the problem is, most people have this idea that those gains that they see initially are going to continue in the same fashion in terms of time frame. Meaning, all right, I'm going to continually progress at the rate I'm progressing. And it's kind of a kick in the balls if you look at how it actually happens. And the more you train, you know, the more experience you get, and even like the more you diet, the slower and slower the results are going to come. It's just what happens as your body adapts, as your muscles adapt. You can only grow so much in a given time, and once you introduce that resistance training and keep it consistent, the way your body reacts to it is going to kind of plateau a little bit, or plateau if you're Chris Jones. What up, Chris Jones? Y'all know who it is. Anyways, I got distracted by plateauing. So this progression, while you still see gains, you still see results, as long as, you know, your training is set up right, you have a diet that's going to help you see the gains you're trying to get. It's not this quick upshoot that many people think it is. So I don't know if it's partly because they just haven't experienced this themselves, or maybe because a lot of times the people that they idolize in terms of bodybuilding, weight training, things of that nature, a lot of them are abnormally big. and I'm sure I'm going to get some shit, but a lot of those people, especially the professionals, obviously, and I don't think this is any secret, they use other things to enhance their physique. Now, of course, a lot of them also are genetically gifted. It's one of those things where you combine these two things and you get tremendous results. Just because somebody takes gear or steroids or whatever you want to call it doesn't mean they're going to blow up overnight. There still needs to be hard work, and genetics still play a tremendous role in that. But it's kind of offsetting only because people look at those and they say, that's where I want to be. Except they don't want to do what those people do in terms of putting things into their body to see those results, to see those gains, and to see potentially a lot of those side effects. They want to do things naturally. But the issue is that no one really has idols who are natural bodybuilders. You know, there are those diehard people out there that compete and follow natural bodybuilding, and they can tell you some of the top natural bodybuilders out there. But if you ask the average person who just lifts weights to name some of their favorite bodybuilders, they're going to say Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're going to say Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, Kai Green. All guys who I can safely say 100% are not natural. So you got to really look at what you're dealing with here. And someone like me who is natural, I think you guys can probably tell, if I was not natural, I would pray to God that I would be a lot bigger. I would go see whoever I bought my gear from and would want a refund of all the money I spent. Because let's face it, I've been training for 16, 17 years. I'm 6'4", I'm a little bit taller, so it's harder to see mass in some cases, but I'm not a mass monster. I would consider myself lanky in most cases. Right now, I'm floating around 217 to 220, which to me isn't a lot of weight. So, do I think I've reached my potential? Why aren't I bigger? Honestly, from where I started, I am bigger. I don't feel like I'm a small person, but then again, I don't really concern myself with comparing who I am and what I look like to others. And that's what I love about training. That's what I love about dieting, lifting. This whole mindset is, it's you against yourself, because you can't really control what other people are doing, how they're training, how they're eating, what they're taking in some cases. That's not it. You train against yourself, and that's why I love this, because you see continual progression, which I have been seeing for the last 17 years. And even if it's something minor like 5 extra pounds or 1 extra rep, that's an accomplishment for me. That's a gain. That's a goal. So to get these comments, it's a little bit funny just because I think people don't understand. But I really want you guys to be familiar with this, because if you're a new trainee and you're thinking you're going to consistently see the gains you're seeing, you're going to be in for a world of disappointment. And I see this all the time because people message me and say, hey, you know, my gains have plateaued. I'm not seeing the strength results that I used to. What's going on? And I'll start talking to them, and they'll tell me, oh yeah, I know I'm getting a little bit stronger, but I'm just not happy. I'm not seeing the size gains I want, because you have unrealistic expectations. So before you really get yourself down or look at things in a negative way or question someone else, which you can still question me, I don't care, that's cool. Just think about the issues at hand and where it's going, and a lot of times this will help you keep a clearer mindset, not be as stressed out, and hopefully it'll keep you staying big. We'll talk to you guys soon.